I apologize for the cold. I will try to talk as briefly as possible to save us all the agony here. I noticed one of you has had me in a class here at UGA. So, yeah. All right, one better here. But anyway, again, I'm along with Scott. I'm the curriculum guy on the trip here, and in a nutshell, what a Global Lead's primary goal is its strategies is active learning, getting people out of the classroom, as you heard a minute ago, and get them out, I guess, experiential learning. We will definitely do that on this trip in all kinds of ways. Service projects and museum visits and meet local folks coming in and talk to us about all kinds of issues. But there is a place, though, for sort of classroom stuff, and that's where we come in. Before you can go out into the world and learn about it and learn from it, you have to have a little background, you have to do some research, you have some preparation before, and then you need to think about it afterwards. And so that's where our curriculum comes in. And basically what you're going to be doing while you're eating all this great cuisine and having these wonderful experiences and cliff diving, all sorts of stuff. We're going to be taking 2 classes while in Greece. One of them is a leadership class. The other is a service learning class. I'll talk real briefly about the leadership course first. Essentially, our goal in this class is to give you an understanding of the meaning and the execution of leadership. We're going to first of all talk about theory, like academic theories about leadership and practices, about what it means to be a good leader, how to be an effective leader. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about how local leaders and local historical figures embody leadership challenges and respond to leadership issues. We'll talk about Socrates, I know we'll talk about the Apostle Paul as well, who spends a fair amount of time, as you probably know, in Greece. We'll talk about developing your own personal leadership vision. What are your talents in terms of leadership? What are you passionate about? How do you put those things together, serve as an example to other people, get a group moving towards a common goal, that sort of thing. As far as details, I will refer you to the syllabus, which is really great. I had a chance to sit down and look at it in detail today, and it's really fabulous, and it will answer a lot of the questions you may have. And we're going to be doing things like, we're going to take a strengths quest. I'm not sure what you would call it, a survey which will tell you a great deal about your particular leadership strengths, how you can take advantage of them. We're going to do a lot of journaling, we're going to do a lot of class discussion. And for both of those, we're going to be giving you prompts, we'll give you questions and things to think about, and you'll be able to work the answers out in this thing right here, which contains a lot of our readings and a lot of our journaling space. 2 papers, 4 to 5 pages apiece, journal entries due to us weekly, and then a final project, which we do after we actually get home and have some time to think about things, and participation as well. At the same time, you're also going to be taking this over to the service class now. The service learning course, and I think the most important thing to recognize is that these things are not separate from one another. They are intertwining, mutually reinforcing. And this is one that I'm particularly excited about as well. This idea of service learning is academically goes back to the 60s and 70s. It's essentially taking the idea of volunteerism and combining it with sort of an academic program. It's different, as we're going to discover, from simply volunteering. There's a whole body theory behind it. So what we're going to do in this course, this is especially exciting for me as a historian, you're going to learn about the historic and contemporary circumstances that shape the development of these communities that we're going to be working with. Basically, you're going to go over to Greece and you're going to work with, among other folks, Somali refugees. The simple question is, how is it that Somali refugees end up in Greece? Why are they in Greece? Why can't they leave Greece? Really important questions, things that I think as a leader and as a service person you need to know. You can't walk into these kind of things cold. So that's what my job as Scott's job is to help deliver some of that context. We're also going to think a lot about culture and values. I'm glad someone is getting their money's worth. At any rate, appreciation of cultures and values, and that's something that as a historian we're going to talk a lot about as well. I mean, you are an American, and the people that we're going to meet are not Americans, and it's important to understand that difference. It can be difficult sometimes, despite the best of intentions, to reach across borders to help people. The idea, I guess, of mutual understanding and mutual cooperation will be key. To be self-reflexive, muse about this kind of stuff a little bit. To be a globally competent citizen was something kind of like a cheesy thing, but I think that's really important. We live in a global world. I mean, here we can hop on a plane to Greece in a matter of hours and start doing service work for people. We need to think, I guess, as global citizens. As with the other course, we're going to have journal entries. You'll be given prompts, questions to think about, to answer. There'll be an essay as well due on service after we get home, and again, all the details are in the syllabus. And you have to, if you want the credits, register for this class as well, just like you would for a regular UGA course. And so, do we have a number? We do have call numbers. I don't ever register for class to teach them, but I never registered for them. I'm not sure how it works. But you get on Oasis, basically, you plug in call numbers. Make sure you are registering for the correct course, right? This has been a big problem. Don't register for South Africa. Make sure you are actually getting the Greece. Correct, yes.
I already tried to register for the ones online, and they're not showing up on my Oasis account.
Okay. I will.
They just became live yesterday.
Okay.
So you tried before, we hadn't actually opened them yet. They were there, but we didn't allow access, so they should be available.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I know from other classes there can be these weird delays sometimes, so again, I'm going to keep at it. See, what else? Well, starting with a little bit more about service. Typically speaking, when you have a service learning course, you integrate it with other things, and we're doing that with leadership. That's why these courses they go together, and they're sort of mutually reinforcing. And I guess a couple of things that are going to float over this. We're going to investigate. We're going to do our reading and do our discussion before we go into the communities to do our service. We're going to think a little bit about context and that sort of thing, plan how to do it, go in and actually implement our service plan, and then come back and reflect about it. Now I know from talking to the Global League folks, it's a very important part of this course, right? It's self-reflection, thinking about what you've seen and done afterwards, and letting it inform your experience. And I think that's probably just about it. Your voice is sort of working out. Is there anything else that I need to cover here? We're sure we're doing all right. Yeah, make sure, that's right, yeah, keep Belgians back. There are going to be basically two readings, things that you will have to have. One of them is this beast right here. If you ever took my class, you probably, or my upper level classes, you'll recognize this. This is available over at Belgians, right across from the arch. And this has basically everything you need in terms of almost all the readings are in here. There's space for you to answer some of these questions about leadership and about service as well. And there's a book as well you'll need to pick up called Simply Leadership. 5th edition, I believe. I don't think there we go, which is Peter Norhaus available. Is it at the UGA bookstore? Yeah,
it is in the bookstore.
Okay, bookstore. You can get it on Amazon as well. Whoever thought a leadership book would be cool, but actually got a great deal out of it. So.